Hello, and how are you doing? I hope you are well. So, it is the Afro Humanist back again. I was here early on today, so I hope you're well. Till X, hello. Laura Williams. Laura Williams, that's a nice name. Laura Williams. Till X, how are you doing? Mark, got T-Lex, got Laura, got Mark. Hello, guys. I hope you are doing well. So, today, or rather this evening, because I've been here early on in the day, I'm going to be talking about this lady. I saw this video online and it interested me because people claim that they hear from God. A lot of you here are atheists. Hey, Doug, I'll put the link for you or anyone who wants to come and have a chat. Let's see. Let's share link. No, not share link. Invite. Hey, look out for number one. Okay, look out for number one. I hear you. Till X. Laura says thanks. Till X. Great, thank you. Bipolar disorder. Who's got bipolar disorder? Oh, yes. You can say that again. The question is, how do you know when it is God speaking or when it is your when it's just your intuition or it's just your uh how do you say, hey, you've had your booster? Hey, that's good. I had my booster in November. I've had mine already. Loading machines on my lorry full of mud. Oh, so you have to go and take a shower before you come on here, which is fine. I'm doing fine. I had my booster 3 days ago and was pretty tired for the next. Oh, when I had my booster, I felt nothing. But for my first one, oh, I was ill. After my first, the vaccine, the first one, and I think the one I got was, is it AstraZeneca? That one, yeah, I think it's the AstraZeneca I got. After the first one, I was ill for 48 hours. I was just knocked out. But after then, the second one was fine. Only had a dead arm, and that was it. For the what you call it, for the booster, I was ill just for a few days, and that's it. No, sorry. What am I saying? For the booster, I felt nothing at all. Nothing. It was the first one. The second one, hey, stupid New Year's. Hoa's energy. Stupid New Year's. Hoa energy. How are you today? You're dead. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. But at least you've had it within a day or two. That's it. It's over and done with. You at least you know that you're done with your vaccines. It's all said and done. Got nothing to worry about. Well, you still have to protect yourself. You still have to protect yourself because even though you're vaccinated, that doesn't stop you from catching the virus. It might stop you going into hospital, it might stop you getting it really bad, but it doesn't stop you catching it. So please be careful still, even though you've had the vaccine and the booster. Bipolar gives hallucinations, mainly auditory but visual in extreme cases. 98% goes on there you go. I'm glad you said that. 98% goes undiagnosed. And guess what, dog? Imagine somebody who has bipolar disorder, right? They walk into a church and they say, I'm now a Christian, I'm now a pastor. Uh, Jesus healed me. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. A few days later, they come out and say, I now have my own church. Do you know how many people with bipolar disorders have their own church? Do you know how many people that they're walking around with mental disorders? They're pastors of a church. They're the preachers. They're in control of religious organizations. These people come out and say, God told me. But my question, I'm still asking the question. I'm hoping that one of you might be able to answer. How do you know when God is the one speaking? Stupid New Year whores, no, stupid New Year's whore energy. How do you know that it is God who is speaking? How do we tell? Mark Caesar, how do we tell? How do we know which one is God and which one is your intuition, your brain, your delusion? Which one? How do we know? How do we know? Millions of them. Yeah. There are millions of people just walking around and they're leaders of organizations, religious organizations. I have a few videos which I will there's a lady who's been going around talking about going to heaven. She's about 600 years old. She said she's about 600 and something years old in the spirit realm, but in the physical realm she's maybe in her 50s, but she is over 600 years old. Can you imagine this? Talks about going to heaven, going to hell, and Jesus did this. And, you know, in my opinion, she looks like somebody who's quite she's not quite there, in my opinion. We all have inner dialogue, absolutely. How can you tell when it is BPD or just reasoning with yourself? That's a good question, Mark. That's the question we are trying to find out. And so, but Mark, now let me ask you this question. Look in the Bible. A typical example is the book of Revelations. This John person, John of Patmos, goes off to an island. He has these weird visions and weird dreams. He comes back from his trip to Patmos. He was alone. He was alone. He comes back and says, I've seen this, I've seen that. God has sent me this and God has sent me that. How do we know whether what John from Patmos was saying? How do we test? And yet, Christianity has built the whole eschatology doctrine from the book of Revelations. Some people have even worked out, some religious organizations have even worked out what day and the minute and the hour that Jesus Christ is going to return. All the people who have predicted Jesus' return, so far so good, have all been wrong, and they will all be wrong. Ultra, how are you today? Ultra, how's your job? How's your job? How's the family? I hope everyone's fine. God is a pervert, so he'll be the one who licks your ear when he whispers into it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Does your average fundamentalist have the ability to reason with voices? Does your average fundamentalist have the ability to reason with voices? How do you, first of all, you need to know what voice it is before you start thinking about reasoning. How, and the worst part is when your preacher, some preachers feel like it is their duty to tell you about what's going to happen. I personally do not like anything about fortune telling. Don't tell me what's going to happen tomorrow. Please don't. I don't want to know what's going to happen a year from now. I don't believe all those things anyway. I don't do mediums. I don't do fortune telling. I don't want to know. I don't want to walk around feeling like, oh, such and such going to happen. Oh, I don't know. No, no. When I get to that bridge, I'll cross it. I'll cross it when I get to that bridge. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Why would I want to know what's going to happen? Why do I need to know that? We all start walking around petrified. Oh, such and such is going to happen in my future. No. Hey, Danisha, you haven't missed anything at all. Nothing. I haven't started the video. I had a revelation. Jesus won't return in my lifetime. Well, Mark, I can tell you for a fact that your revelation will be accurate. It's going to be accurate. Jesus is not coming. Jesus coming? Before you can talk about Jesus coming again, how about prove he came the first time? We're still trying to prove that he came the first time round, let alone second time. No, they wouldn't want to hear that, but it's just the truth. Some people do not believe that there was a person called Jesus who walked on this earth. They don't believe it. It's not even a thing. Some people will tell you Jesus is a myth. It didn't happen. Made up story. Jesus isn't coming back. He looked down and seen that we're worse than when his dad flooded the planet. His dad flooded the planet. That's ultra. That's a conversation for another day. How a how a God will flood the entire. Anyways, I've started on my rant. Let me start this video. So this young lady we're about to watch. The first video you're going to see is her mom and dad. And I will speak as the video is playing because it's a heavy, they're speaking in a heavy Jamaican accent. So let's see here. So this is her mom and dad. Their daughter was doing really well, and from nowhere, the daughter says, I've heard from God, and decided I'll give up everything to follow after God. If God flooded the entire planet, where did all the water go? If God flooded the entire planet, where did the water go? I don't know. I don't know. You do know I don't believe in the flood story. I don't. It just it couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened. Because then you have to work out that question, where did the water go? It just didn't happen. It didn't happen. Nah, it didn't happen. Okay, let's start this video. My wife could cause my wife her life. My daughter didn't care about anything about what she was doing, about how she affect us, what she doing. All she was determined about is to go wherever they were going to pick her up to go. My wife could not reason with her, as you can see my wife. She not 100%.
daughter name is Daniel Gray. She was living here with us up until not this Wednesday before. She was going to school, not at UA, doing her studies. She was doing a law degree at UA. After being at UA for about, she did studies for about 3 years. Upon the conclusion for her third year, um, we noticed our daughter started dressing a certain way. We didn't have a problem with that. She started eating certain way. We didn't have any problem with that. Our behavior.
Okay, so their daughter, Danielle was doing a law degree. She's doing really well. You're proud of her. And she starts to dress in a certain way. That's how it started. They just started to see her dress in a certain way. They didn't think anything at first. They didn't think. You're Jamaican. Okay, you understand it, right? Okay. If you want to come on, uh um it's quite really heavy Jamaican accent. So if you want to come on Ultra, I don't mind. Uh, I'm sure I've put the link in the chat somewhere. Okay. So that's how it started. She started to her, the way she was dressing changed. So
Somewhat has changed somehow because sometimes we talk to her and she listen sometimes. Be a little bit rude sometimes. And one of the things that we had noticed about our daughter is that she was reading a lot of books and stuff like that. Books and she locking up in her room.
there you go.
All the time she was in her room. She only come out when she wants something to eat.
So their daughter, her behavior changed. Would lock herself in the room, only come out when she needs something. And she started becoming rude to the people around her. This is someone who has heard from God. Is that? Yes, that's the sound of cameras. Yes, because the press. When this interview was done, her mom and dad thought she was missing. They couldn't find her. They didn't know where she was, but they knew she was affiliated with the church. But she just went AWOL. Nobody saw her. So this interview was with the press because they were looking for her. Where's she gone? But well, she was answering the call of God. God is the one leading this whole mess. Is that the sound of cameras? If it is, was this some sort of media promotion? Anyone think the statements and response are not contrived? No, they thought she was missing. They thought something really bad had happened to her. And that's why they did the interview.
And then she come down, sometimes she mumble something else and she go back up her room. You know?
Mumble to say like good morning or something.
Yeah, then she go back to her room. So she's in her room most of the time, if not all the time. Now, a few months ago, we noticed that our daughter was going out on a few Sabbaths and Saturdays. Early morning. One of the early morning, about 5:30, we had a grill open. And I said to myself, where's Denny going this early morning? Anyway, she went. And she didn't come back home until after the curfew hours. We also wondered something could have gone wrong with her or something like that because she didn't come in until after the curfew hours. When she came home, said to her, Denny, you'll be on the road, so you go out that early. Anything could happen to you, somebody could rape you, abduct you, anything could have happened. And you know, since it was the curfew hours, police could have stopped you and also arrest you. Anyway, she said to us at the time, Mom and Dad, I want to thank you for taking care of me all these years. But I want you going back to school. And I said,
Oh my
what?
goodness.
Where am I going to
Okay, so what he's saying is there was a curfew. I think because of the COVID, the lockdown, there was a curfew. And their daughter would come back after the curfew, and they were worried about this young lady because in Jamaica, it's not such a safe place, this place where they are. And so they every time she breaks coffee, the curfew, when she comes back, they start worrying over her because you could be raped, anything could happen. We don't know where you are, we don't know what's happened to you. And then all of a sudden, she tells her mom and dad, I'm not going to school anymore. I'm done. I'm done with the university. This is someone doing a law degree. She
school?
gives up
Yes.
school.
So what did you do? She said she's going to do the work of the Lord. So we said to her, what is the work of the Lord? She couldn't answer. She didn't answer. Where are you going to do this work of the Lord? She couldn't answer. We say, you're still a Christian? So yes. So what church you going to? She didn't answer us. Anyway,
So she says she's giving up school because she needs to do the work of the Lord. What's the work of the Lord you're going to do? No answer. What's the name of the church where you're going to? No answer. But she is going to do the work of the Lord. She's giving up her studying. She's giving up her future, basically, just to go and do the work of the Lord. Something really bad did happen to her. She got hooked up with religion. Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you imagine this young lady doing really well, going to uh, uh, doing a law degree, and all she did was going to start a church, and that was it. That was it. Is Christianity prevalent in Jamaica? Yes, in Jamaica, yeah, heavily. It's a predominantly Christian. Um, the main religion in Jamaica, as far as I know, is Christianity. Ultra might be able to help us. Ultra, what do you think? In Jamaica, is that a Christian? Uh, is Christianity the dominant religion in Jamaica? You can please tell us. Well, as far as I know, I think it is. We take our safety for granted. Not every place in the world is safe to roam about after dark. Yes, you're right. Jamaica, Jamaica, man. Hmm. Okay, let's carry on with this.
kind of concerned, wife and I. So I took the phone from her. After taking the phone from her, I noticed in the phone someone had said in her text, now that you get accepted to go to country land, we'll be sending a ride for you to pick you up and to take you to country land. This is when I got concerned now because somehow my daughter went out that day. I didn't know she was associated with the people or whatever. But I started in my investigation and found out that she went out that day and she met with the group. The leader was Mr. Lecky, who accepted her to go to Punchila.
My name is Danielle Gray, and I'm a part of this Following the Blueprint ministry. I was led to it earlier this year, and I was convicted by the Lord to stop school and to be.
Gosh, guys, mom and dad were worried about this lady. All she did was walk into this church. I don't know what the name of it is, following the blueprint ministry. So, this is the problem right here with church, religion. People will come and tell you, they'll say, oh, religion does a good thing in the world. We need religion. Oh, receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. It's the best thing that can happen to you. But they don't consider the bad. They don't consider the evil things that can happen to you. This lady heard from God. God spoke. God says, can you imagine? God told her to leave school behind. Let me take that back. Listen to her. This is her in church, right? Just listen to what she's got to say. No, I think I've gone further too much. Let's see. Okay, there we go.
Who accepted her to go to country life.
My name is Danielle Gray, and I'm a part of this Following the Blueprint ministry. I was led to it earlier this year, and I was convicted by the Lord to stop school and to become a part of this ministry. The Lord convicted me very strongly that He needed me in His work, and He's made it very clear to me what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And my family was not happy at all. They couldn't understand it. They said I was crazy, joining a devil worshipping cult, human trafficking cult. I was locked in my house for a few weeks. I didn't have a phone, nothing. When I was leaving last week, I had to break a padlock to come out of the house because my dad was like, you are not leaving this house to become a part of a cult. No, I want to make it clear to the entire world that I am here on...
Guys, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Can you imagine having a child? You do everything for your child, make sure that they're in school, they're doing really well. And then all of a sudden they start to change. You notice a difference. And they come and tell you, Mom, Dad, I'm going to stop school. In fact, I've stopped. When you ask why, they say, God, it's God. God spoke to me. God called me. God, is this church what I've started going to? And it is God. What will you think? What will your reaction be? Won't you think there's something wrong? What kind of God tells you to stop going to school? What kind of God tells people to stop going to school? Shouldn't your God tell you, you know what? Go to school. Why can't she do God's work in school? And what kind of ministry is this that tells, if I don't know, if I was a pastor of the church and someone says, oh, God says I should drop school and come and I'll tell you, no, 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 no. We don't want uneducated people in this ministry. Go finish your school. What kind of God tells people this? Christianity is prevalent in Jamaica. Thank you. Thanks for that. It's really bad. We need more female representation in these careers as we do in every aspect of life. When you say career, what career? Career of ministry or what? These people. Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't make sense. It seems the ministry could use a law. Exactly. Look. Exact. And the name of the ministry says following the blueprint ministry. What kind of blueprint is this? Huh? What kind of, okay, in law, all right, I get you, AA, I get you now. This is not a career. A career, you go and tell people, God told me, and God, this stuff, guys, what kind of career is this? When I was growing up in Africa, if if you went to your mom and dad and said to them, I'm getting married, and my partner, well, the one I'm about to marry or I want to marry is a preacher. Oh, they'll be so happy because the preachers make a lot of money. Preachers get a lot of respect. But These people are con artists. Mm-mm. Dog, I see you. Let's see. Hey, dog.
Hello.
You been watching?
Well, there is a difference between a ministry and a church.
What's the difference?
Church is more family-based, I'd say. Ministry is a serving an area, serving a community, whether it's a church or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea of a ministry. Um, it will be serving the people of a certain area of that expertise. Although the expertise itself is nonsense, is is religion. Because I mean, being a ministry means uh, it's like Ministry of Defence, Ministry of Magic, Ministry of this. It would serve it, it would serve a community. A church is more localized family stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. So yeah, she is embroiled in a cult as far as I'm concerned,
She
in
is.
a big part of a cult as well.
And you see, the trouble with this is her mom and dad, they spot, they can tell from a mile away that she's in a cult. But does she see it? No. As far as she's concerned, God is speaking. I heard the voice of Jesus. So my question to Christians is, how do you know when God is speaking? How do you tell the difference when God is speaking and when some other person is speaking? How do you tell that apart? Oh well, let's hear what she has to say.
Under my own conviction. I was not under any duress. I am an adult, and this is where the Lord would have me to be. And by His grace, this is where I'm going to stay. I am not missing. I am where God would have me to be. This is God's place, and I have no intention to be anywhere else.
My daughter disappeared out of the house. We found the person's worried, but and the person our person is out was shielding us from seeing our daughter. We don't know what they were gonna do with our daughter. We don't know where she is, who she is with, what kind of living circumstances she was in. If she was under duress, or life was gonna be threatened. We don't know nothing. We felt like fish out of water. My wife and I.
Hmm. So this press conference was because she obviously broke away and ran off to the ministry. Now the question is, if you were the pastor of this church, wouldn't you wouldn't the right thing be to tell Daniel, you need to go home. Daniel, you shouldn't be here. If your mom and dad are concerned, you shouldn't be in this ministry. Right? Am I right in saying this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because look, mom and dad are worried.
Well, as she said, she's a grown adult. She can do what she wants, and
Well, true. That's
obviously,
true.
obviously, her parents aren't happy with it, and they're making a big hoo ha about it with the media for whatever reason. But these aren't the only two people in the world that this is happening to right now. There's children
Mm,
getting brainwashed into these places all the time. When you're vulnerable, and you don't know what her life was like at home. You don't know what her life was like in school or whatever. She could have been getting bullied or anything like
mm,
this. It only takes one little trigger, and the people from these ministries and churches will spot it, and they will hone in on it
mm,
and drag you, not kicking and screaming, into these places, saying and make you feel at home, make you feel a lot better. That's what they do. That's the brainwashing side of it, and then they'll fleece you for every penny you've got until you're nothing but skin and bone, and you realise
mm.
30 years down the line, what the fuck did I do with my life? Why?
Exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
sad,
Did
but
you
it happens all the
did you
time to everyone.
Did you hear about, those young people who were going to ISIS? The ISIS. There were young people leaving the UK to go and fight this jihadi war in where was it?
Yeah,
Iraq or somewhere? Somewhere.
wherever,
When
Iran, Iraq, wherever it was all
yeah,
going, Afghanistan.
yeah, young
Um,
people. Oh, I'm going to go and fight this war and everything. I'm going to go and now some of them are crying to come back. The
of
government
course
has
they
said,
are.
we don't want you back. You have decided to go and join a terrorist organization, and
That's
now you're
just
crying. And they revoked their British citizenship. There's one lady. What's
yeah,
her name? I
Shamir
don't
Begum.
know. Jamima.
Shamir Begum, yeah.
What did you say? Jamima?
Shamir Begum. That's her
Shamir
name.
Begum. Yeah.
Begum is the surname. And she's had 3 children to this one guy. All while she was 15 and 16.
Hmm.
They've all died.
Who's died?
Um, all their children have died.
All the children.
Yeah, yeah, they don't care out there. It's just,
Her, her British citizenship was revoked, right?
of course it was. She went out there. She was recruited here
Mm-hmm.
and went out there to save Allah, to save the people, to fight the
To
infidels,
fight
the
jihad.
non-believers. It's a sad part of life, but this is what religion does to people.
Hmm.
They do a convincing. They do a great. They can convince a lot of people of uh, of the greatness of what will happen to them, but they never does happen,
No.
sadly, and they just hope it'll wash over them, or this religion will just wash over them and cleanse them, and they'll just get toe the line like a lot of people do. But
Mm-hmm.
all these empty promises is the norm for the come with us. It's like the Catholic Church. If
Mm-hmm.
you can have, we'll feed you, yes, but you need to. It's at the back of the church. All you need to do is sit in on a sermon first, and the food's at the end of it.
Hmm.
It's sad but true. That's what these people do.
You know, like in this case of Daniel, Shemima Begum, at least these people are still alive. There's still hope, in my opinion. There's still hope. Look at the people that have been made to believe that when they die, when they do what they call it now, suicide bombing, right? If you
Hmm.
kill yourself for Allah, you get 72 virgins
What the fuck are you going to do with
in
72 virgins?
you get 72 in in the afterlife. So can
Well,
you imagine? You blow yourself
yeah.
up and that's it. Done. There's no there's no
How,
72, nothing.
how can you turn yourself? How can you deal with 72 virgins when you've just turned when your penis has just fucking flew across the square? You blew up. You basically mincemeat now. You
Mm-mm,
just you just
mm-mm.
you're nothing. And that's 72 virgins. Imagine if they were all into I don't know ABBA. They were all ABBA fans. You'd be like, oh fuck this. Allah, you're a wanker. What have you done to me? 72 ABBA fans.
And can you imagine? There's some people they die and want to go and have sex in heaven.
Well, they
Can
can't have
you
sex.
imagine the
They've just blown
logic?
their dick off.
No, but when you tell a man, oh, I'm going to give you 72 virgins, what are they thinking about? It's sex, isn't it? They want to go to heaven and go and have sex.
The first thing, if there is a heaven and I get sent up there, the first thing I'm going to do is kick God in the nuts and just say, "You are a prick, mate. You are an absolute prick. What is up with you? I'm glad I went to fucking rack and ruin. I'm glad I'm off it. And well, now I'm here in front of you. Fucking send me downstairs. I'll give you here's something to send me down with, and I'll just hoof him in the nuts as hard as I can.
Send
And
you where the cool people are.
that wayward fucking son of his as well. Beardy
Oh
guy. I'd grab him in by the
gosh.
beard and kick him in the nuts as well, twice as hard. But
Are you are
apparently it's
you
all the same person, isn't it? Is there three
oh
people up
yeah.
there?
Yes, Jesus is his Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But then, Doug, the trouble is, what heaven are you talking? Which religion's heaven? Which religion's heaven? Because it's not just
Well, they all have
Christians who
heaven and
preach
hell.
heaven. So
They all have heaven and hell.
which
You
heaven are
just
we
name it
talking
differently.
about?
It doesn't really matter. It's the same box. You know, you've got Nirvana is for your Buddhists. Well, what's the Hindu one? I know hell for Hindu is being born and dying and reborn, dying, reborn over and over and over and over again. That's your hell. Uh, that can't be fun, but who gives a shit? At the end of the day, yeah, it's all
I tell
bollocks.
you,
It's
I
never going to
tell you,
happen. Your light goes out and that's it. It goes dark.
that's it.
Hopefully, for me, it'll be peaceful. I'll die my sleep. I won't wake up. I won't know any difference.
I don't want to
I'll be,
die in my
I'll be
sleep.
dead.
No, I don't want to die in my sleep. Mm-mm.
Well,
No,
well, how do you want to die? Horrifically?
not horrific, but I think I would want to know. I'd want to know. Time is up. It's finished. It's done. I would want to die in your sleep. That means you just go to sleep and you don't know. You just well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Hmm.
no, I'd just sooner get old and die in my sleep. Even if I don't get old, just die peacefully in my sleep. I don't want no pain. That's the only thing that
No, I
fucking
don't.
scares
No,
me
no,
of
no
death
pain.
is
No
dying
pain.
horrifically.
True.
You
True.
know, on fire or something, or you know, being shot in a well, it doesn't matter. You know,
Mm.
horrific crash or anything. Just, I just like to go to sleep. I don't want cancer. I don't want to die in
Oh,
agony.
no, no, no,
I just
no,
want
no.
to go to sleep. And thanks God for cancer as well.
Oh well.
I just want to die in my sleep and be done with it. I don't want to.
I'm
I won't know any
Jamaican.
different, will I? Even when I'm saying I won't know, I won't have the ability to not know. I'll be dead.
Boo Jackson says, I'm Jamaican and I can tell you that the brainwashing here is crazy high. Boo Jackson, I did a live stream, or was it a video? It was a video of Kevin Smith. And a few days later, after my video, that madness occurred in Jamaica. And I think I'm going to do a live stream about that. It's terrible. What religion does to people. Why people need to wake up and just open your eyes and see what religion is doing to people. Hmm. Anyways, let's
You'd be surprised. Religion is very diverse these days, and it's in every country. All
mm-hmm,
religions are in all the countries. You know, the humanity has become diverse. We have spread ourselves out. Um, and this has got nothing to do with the internet. I mean, you know, we were diversifying back in the 60s, 70s, England. We were getting the Jamaicans over and things like that
mm-hmm.
during the strikes. And, you know, we had our refugees, and India was still part of the Commonwealth. So we had all the Indians come over, and it was great. But then obviously they start opening all these churches, then all these mosques start rising out the ground, and then the Americans got in on it, and they came over, and I mean every year, especially during the 70s and 80s, them Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons were every 3 times a week you'd have them knocking on your door. Fortunately, they don't bother now.
Oh,
They put
thank goodness with the virus now,
it's
they
got
don't
had
come
nothing to do with
knocking
the
on the door.
virus. It had nothing to do with the virus. It had something to do with no, I'm not buying your Watchtower book. No one wants it. You're in England
Mm.
now, mate. You're not in America where it's la la land. You're
They
here.
still they still used to knock on the door here where I am, but
Yeah, no,
when the virus hit, they stopped. They stopped knocking on doors.
at least they sort of it's died off anyway. They sort of congregate on street corners now and preach the word on the corner, on
I
street
see them.
corners, and do their
Mhm.
Bible
Mhm.
rattling there. Um, but their Bibles are totally different again. I mean, you've got your your Smith Mormon Bible, which is
Oh
just
gosh.
pure ridiculous. I mean, according to him, Jesus was the greatest living American that ever lived.
What?
Because he
Jesus
bumped
was an
into him.
American?
Yeah, he bumped into him a couple of 100 years ago, didn't he? And we're already talking about a convicted con man,
Oh gosh.
who who used to divine on farmers' lands for gold, and he used to like for a fee, of course. And he'd go
Mm.
in and he'd divine, he'd have a twig or whatever, and he'd say, "Oh yeah, you dig there. There's plenty of gold there. You'll be rich." So the farmer would pay him up, and off he'd go, never to be seen again. The police caught up with him in the end, but then he
Mm.
was obsessed with gold, obviously, because the whole Bible. Imagine the amount of gold, because apparently the Mormon Bible was printed on using gold plates, solid gold plates. I mean, there's just
Was it?
imagine how many gold plates to print 3,000 pages each side.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous. But
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
this is the con that these people do. I mean, he was already a con man, Joseph Smith, and had this obsession with gold, and yeah. But don't forget, Americans were burning witches only a couple of 100 years ago. They were still
Yeah.
burning witches 250 years around then, maybe a bit longer ago in Salem.
Mm-mm,
These innocent women were getting burnt alive for no reason at all because of religion.
mm-mm.
It's just evil. The whole thing of it is just ridiculous evil, and they get it into
It
their heads, and
is.
they convince these people, and now you've got the flat earthers who've had to become religious again because how can the world planet be flat and have a dome over it, a glass dome, without someone creating it? So they've had to become born again Christians to get on with another ridiculous conspiracy.
Oh
I
gosh.
mean,
You know
why would
what?
people?
We will get into that conversation. Flat Earth,
Oh, yeah.
all of that. I think that would be something interesting. I would love to get into that conversation. I would. Uh,
You find that people who believe in ghosts as well normally will believe in religion and things like that.
mm-hmm. People
It's
that believe
just
in ghosts, right? Ghosts, demons, angels, and all of that.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyone who believes in any of that nonsense, any of that woo these people are. I'm not going to say they're demented or
Mm,
they're stupid. I'm just going to say they've got a false sense of reality
reality.
that's been
Yeah.
put in their
Yeah.
heads by
Yeah.
watching too many movies or reading the wrong books or following the wrong
Wrong
gossip,
people.
the wrong
Mm.
dogma of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this is just the way, people are vulnerable and people are gullible as well, and they will buy these stuff and they'll buy this, you know, they'll, they're, all, they're all cons. We know this, and everyone else knows it.
Absolutely.
But
Mm-hmm.
you can't convince these people that they're unconvincible. They have to convince themselves, and they usually do after many years. In America, if they make a lot of money out of it, then they don't care. But if you're the one that's paying these people to fly around their jets and whatnot, usually when they get older, they'll think, what have I done with all that fucking money? I could have bought my own jet.
Hmm.
But
And by that time it's too late.
yeah, your
You
life's
can't
wasted.
really
But
do, yeah, the best part of your life you've wasted that, giving all that money to church and to all this. Mm. Let's carry on with this video. Boo Jackson says, to emphasize how brainwashed we are, our national anthem is actually a prayer. it's not just Jamaica, not just Jamaica. Nigeria, um, Nigeria's national anthem is also has God inside of it. I think, "O God of," oh, let me see if I remember it. "O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty." Oh, I don't remember the rest of it, but it's not just Jamaica. So many countries that have this God. God is ruling in so many countries. It's God, led by God. Huh?
Well, Mark Caesar, he said here in Australia, religion has less and less followers with younger generations, and it is happening here in the
Yes.
UK. But it is a fact, fun fact. There's more. There's over 2,000 people on planet Earth at the moment who say they're Jesus
Oh
or a
gosh.
reincarnation version
We
of
have
Jesus.
2,000 Jesus.
Over 2,000.
Mm-mm.
Whether it's more now, I don't know. But obviously, these guys, they all drive around in top of the range Audis and Mercedes and things like that, and they all have cults. Wifelets, lots of wives, a lot of them. The
Ah,
biggest
that's
concentration
always
of all these Jesuses are, in
that.
fact, in Australia.
Yeah, there was one. I saw one. There was one Jesus from Australia that I saw recently. He did an interview, and he's married to a Mary. Mary, named after the mother of Jesus. I was thinking, this is just a mess. Well, let me carry on with this video. My goodness.
We're confused, we just don't know what to do. Could have driven us crazy, to tell you the truth, because you feel lost. I mean, this is a girl that we raised for 22 years. As I said, bring her to the doctor. My daughter wanted certain shoes back then. She wanted certain clothes. That's about everything that she wanted. I'm not, as I said, rich, but I try my best to give her the things that she needed. When she said she wanted to become a lawyer, go all the extra miles and try to get things together to try to assist her to make that a reality for her. And to see she get up one day and said, disappear, and the people who have her did not or don't want to tell us where she was. That was heart wrenching. That was a sad day for us. Had to be strong.
It just felt like a death in the family.
Oh wow.
It just felt like I lost my daughter. She's
Oh
dead.
no.
But let me tell you,
The mom said her going missing felt like a death in the family. This lady has gone to serve God. In her mind, in her, as far as she's concerned, this is God, and there's nothing that's going to stop her. And her
I,
mom just said that it felt like a death. Look at some of her awards. This is a bright young, oh, dog.
it's sad that she's given up her whole career and studies for this. But as a father, if my daughter had done that, I'd have been chuffed to bits. I'd just go. I'd see the only alternative, which I wanted to do, which the missus wouldn't let me do, was chain her up in the attic until she was 50. It's my little
No.
girl. That's my little girl. I don't men
Oh, you
touching
can't
it. I
you
don't
can't
men
do
like
that.
they're all fuckers. But at least in the
Mm-mm,
church. But
mm-mm.
then, but now we're talking about sexually repressed men
Gosh.
who've repressed the. You can't say oppressed because I suppose it is oppression to not have sex, but they've repressed it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what these people are like now. So now she's in that that danger zone now where these men are sexually repressed and they've done it themselves, and it's sad, really,
Mm.
that that she's in that environment because she's
It's
prime meat to a
it's
lot of
sad.
these. This is like the choir boy to the Catholic again.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
look at the videos that you post with these African
mm-hmm.
doing all these sexual acts
Oh
live in
my
front of the
goodness.
congregation
Mm-mm,
because this is
mm-mm.
what God told to do. Washing naked women and things like that. They're getting their kicks off it. They're getting their sexual jollies off doing that, and maybe that's a good thing.
How is that a good thing? I mean, look at this lady, the one we're talking about now, Danielle. She looks so naive. She looks so innocent. Looks
Well,
like one that hasn't been with any many men in her life at all. Just hasn't got a clue. Oh, well, let's carry on with the video.
mm,
Something.
Hmm.
This girl is my daughter. We raised her for so many years. It doesn't matter if she's 100 or 150. She's still my daughter. And someone has taken her and hid her from us.
God has
And they are
taken
the
her.
disguise of Christians. They call themselves Christians. And you cannot talk to these people on the phone. They were arrogant on the phone and do all the things. And we felt we could not do nothing at all. Nothing at all to know where her daughter is.
We feel helpless because of the age that she is 22. The police is telling us that she is 22. She's an adult. Everybody.
Police
Everybody.
was doing the investigation. And what had happened though, they have her and they gave her something to read. And she read it. And I sat down. I felt like, listen, this is the last straw. Me. They already got her now. And they were telling her what to say, what to say, going to say it.
So she's a totally different person to you now.
I'm telling you, my daughter was from she was leaving here, you're talking to her, she's staring out of space. It's like she's not the same person. It's like she's under some
spell.
so I don't know, just spell.
Brainwashed.
Brainwashed.
That is the word.
Brainwashed in the highest grade. If you tell her hair is
Brainwashing.
green, she's gonna say it's red because somebody is telling her it's red. You understand what I'm talking about? And she talk about. So I said, when she says she's gonna do work, I said, what does that entail? She can't tell us. So the Lord is not the author of confusion, you know. But
There we go. See, the Lord is not the author of confusion, but this Lord that has called Daniel, he is an author of confusion. He is creating this pain and suffering in this home. So the question is, how does Daniel know that the voice she's hearing is the voice of God? I am curious. I want to know. How do we know? Oh God, I don't. Terrible.
something else in your hand and tell you that this is what you need to do. You understand what I'm saying? Let's not reach out to Jamaica. Families, husband, wives, you have daughters. Be vigilant. Be observant. Look, try to know their friends, try to know the people they associate with. We are sitting here now. Not all families can go through this and still sit and talk about it because it can be devastating. It can be
Can be devastating.
life threatening. It can be serious, you know? And I want to look at some of the people who are doing this and tell them, just stop it. It is wrong. Wrong under the disguise of God. Using God to do your own will and bidding. It is wrong. Any responsible mother, father, adult would have spoken to my daughter and tell her the right thing. You people are leading her astray. And I pray God will deal with you.
What would you like to say to your daughter?
Stop. I want to tell you, Daniel, we love you. We love you unconditionally. We don't know where you are. We like to know where you are. Our door is always open for you. If your finger hurt you, just call me. I come and pick you up any hour, anytime, any place in Jamaica, around the world. I'll be there for you. Remember,
This is heartbreaking. This is so heartbreaking, dog.
absolutely. But there's nothing that they can do, sadly. The church has her now,
The
and it's,
church,
well, the ministry, wherever she is, they have her now. God has her, or
God.
the delusion of God has her. And there's nothing they can do about it, and it's heartbreaking. But
There's still hope, isn't it? There's still hope.
as I say, yeah, that's the book bit.
There's
There's
still
always
hope.
hope. Hopefully, she'll realise maybe before it's too late, because once you've wasted so many years of your life, and then you realise it's you'll never get that life back.
No,
You never
it's
get that life back.
just.
And there's so many people like yourself
Mm,
who's new out of
religion and
Christian, out of religion.
Christianity.
Yeah. And you've waited all them years, all them Sundays, all that money
Hmm.
paying them.
Hmm. Mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Fortunately, I got out as a child. Well, I was 10.
Hmm.
I didn't get out. It took me a while after that. I was really angry when I was expelled from a Catholic school. I wasn't unruly. I wasn't uncontrollable. I just had questions. That's all
Hmm.
I had was questions that they couldn't answer. But yeah. So in the end, they just had enough and put me into a normal school. The worst thing was on the first day of in a normal school, they sang the Lord's Prayer in the morning. I thought, oh fuck, here we go. I'm out of the frying pan into the fire for me. But fortunately, it wasn't a prayer
It wasn't.
before. It wasn't a prayer before and after every lesson and all this
Oh,
and
good.
repentance, and it was a lot more enjoyable. I could play army and things
Mm-hmm.
like that in the playground. No girls, of course. We can do that as kids. We couldn't do that in Catholic school. We had to during recesses. We had to do Bible study. We had to read our Bibles and things like that. It was quite sad,
Oh,
really. And there's people who are still doing that, and that's
mm-hmm.
here in the UK.
Hmm.
That's here in the
And
UK.
then the children get abused by the priests and those who are supposed to be the leaders of these places. It's really
Well,
sad.
this is where they say knowledge is power,
Mm.
um, and that's why they want to get religion into schools so bad, especially in America. They're trying to get more and more religion into schools, and they're having little wins with with the anti-abortion movements and things
Laws.
like that,
Mm, mm.
and they're getting in there. I mean, the law is ridiculous. If you have a miscarriage after so many weeks, then that mother could be on death row for that. It's sad, but as I say, it's all about the education system, and this all goes back to original sin, or
There's a there's
eating from the tree of knowledge.
oh no, not the
That's
tree
the
of knowledge. My goodness.
That's the
Uh
original sin, was eating from the tree of knowledge. Knowledge is not allowed. It's just God's way or no other way. That's it.
mm, mm, mm,
And
mm, mm,
and
mm.
they know this. Knowledge is power, and that's
Yeah.
why with science is slowly taking over. But it's not happening quick enough, as far as I'm concerned. These people are still raking it in, hand over fist, all this money, and they know they are,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be raking in till the day they die.
Hmm.
But
There's a question on here for you, Doug, from Mark.
yeah,
Mark says, that's all it takes. Make them see you're going to question what they preach and they know you will never be indoctrinated, so they kick you out. How did your parents handle that, Doug?
they kick the shit out of me. They're devout Catholics. My parents.
Hmm.
I used to get beaten in school by the priests and the nun, and humiliated by the nuns. I did say to them once, I'll be big enough. I'll come back here and I'm gonna fuck you up,
Who
father.
did you tell that to?
The priest, one of the
Oh,
priests. I
wow.
said, I'm gonna grow up one day. I'm gonna be angry because of all of this, and I'm gonna fuck you up. And the nuns, they used to humiliate me. They anatomy class, one anatomy class, they made me strip naked in front of the class, and while they pointed at me with sticks at parts of my body. That's the sort of humiliation we talk about here. This is what it was like back then in the 70s. They were pretty vicious, the Catholics. They
Oh,
weren't nice
nice.
people. They're still not nice
Nice.
people. They're
No,
still horrible. But
they're
obviously,
not
I was a
nice
scapegoat
people.
for all of this.
They're not nice
No, I
people.
was the scapegoat. And
when the priest who's been accused of uh um touching little kids, once that's reported, instead of the church to do
that,
anything,
yeah,
they transfer them to other
yeah,
places. The church
they
is
move them
is
out. They move them
complicit.
out.
Yeah.
They move them out of the jurisdiction of prosecution, basically. But it's
Mm-mm.
all about yeah, moving it. That's so anyone who moves regularly, just say you move more times than a Catholic priest. It's usually a funny one line I use, but yeah, the Catholic Church very good at brushing this sort of nonsense under the carpet. But yeah, my
Mm-hmm.
parents were. I so they'd send a letter home to my parents, even though I've been beaten to a pulp by the headmaster because they like their corporal punishment back then, and it
Mm-hmm.
was quite severe with the Catholic priests back then. And I'd get sent home and I'd get beaten again by my parents. I'd probably have no dinner. I'd be locked away.
Gosh,
Um, it it was yeah, it was quite a horrific childhood. But
that's
when I got out of Catholic school, I stopped really asking questions. I sort of did that on my own then and did my own studies. Got very angry. My parents were quite wise because they saw I was getting angry and they didn't want to be on the wrath of me when I
mm-hmm.
was big enough to. 'Cause I would have ended up in prison or something. I really would have. I was really, I was an angry young man, and I went through my teenage years were pretty poor. I thank God for my dad's brother who isn't religious at all, but he got me into
Hmm.
boxing when I was a child, and I vented my anger in the ring
During boxing.
doing boxing. Yeah, in the ring.
Mm-mm.
In actually it was a boxer called quite a famous boxer, a Liverpool boxer called John Conte back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Actually in his school, which was actually part of the school that I'd been expelled from, which was even better for me. Yeah, it was great because I just imagined that these were all the priests and that, and it made me quite. It toughened me up a lot rather than fighting with people in the streets. But
Mm.
that's what religion did to me. I'm glad to be
Gosh.
out of it. Fortunately, I got my act together, and then I got into my studies and got my A levels and went to university and I got my degrees and whatnot and I haven't looked back since. But I was I did go through that God or something.
Horrible,
But,
horrible phase. Hmm.
yeah, because all I wanted was answers to the nonsense,
Mm-mm.
to the things I couldn't understand. But it's dogma and you can't question this stuff.
Mm.
Even though it doesn't make sense, literally, it doesn't make sense. It does to people who fundamentally believe in this stuff. Um, and I was inquisitive. That's all I was. But and it became a mission after a few beatings. As I say, this way you can't step up torture. It became a mission to me then you know to study the Bible as a child, and I'm pull them on it,
Mm-hmm.
questioning
Mm-hmm.
everything on it, and it,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
did become that.
look at the comment. 1 second. Let me go back here. The one that who was it? It was um. Oh, it was one of the comments that said about Jesus. Jesus didn't come to bring peace. Jesus didn't come to make people nice and good. No, he came with the sword. Or something. Where's that? I can't find that comment. Oh gosh. Oh
Well,
yeah, it was Trisha. Trisha Starr says, but Jesus said in the scripture that daughters will go against mothers, sons against fathers for my sake.
that's it. We discussed this in the last show earlier
Yeah,
on.
we did. Yeah, we did.
When I brought up the two swords. What
Mm-hmm.
did he want them swords for?
Can you
We never got
imagine?
to the bottom of the sword, but is it him and his gang? We call them a gang or a mob.
Mm-hmm. Jesus and his
His
gang.
reprobates. Jesus and his gang were his posse, let's say, were no up to no good. They were always up to no good. They were enemies of they were declared enemies of the state. And then Jesus wanted them to sacrifice themselves for him. If you don't pick up a cross for me, you're not worthy of me. You're not worthy of me.
Can you imagine that?
You know, if Jesus said, "Yeah, all right, I've been found out. I'm the leader of the gang, of course. I've been
Mhm.
found out. Now I want you lot
To give up
to,
yourself, and they
you know,
did, didn't they?
pick
They
up a
did.
cross." And on, fuck that, I'd say.
Some of them,
You
but some
know,
of them
Jesus.
did. Some of them
None
were
of them went up.
martyrs.
None of them went up to the mount where he was crucified. None of them went up because they knew the Romans were waiting for them. They'd have been, and the Jews were waiting for them. They'd have been arrested and they'd have been
Mm-hmm.
lined up right next to him.
Mm-mm,
Jesus
mm-mm,
knew that, and they knew that.
mm,
That's why they didn't turn up.
mm-mm,
They
mm-mm.
disappeared. But yeah, that's what happens when you realize. See, they got out of Jesus quite. They realized, yeah, this guy's a fucking nut. He's going to get us killed. And
Jesus.
they got out in the end.
Anyways, let's carry on. This video is nearly done. Let's the Trusty A podcast. Hello. I hope you're well. Yeah. Trisha, let me just get through some of these comments. Getting religion in schools in America is not working anymore. Thank goodness for that. Young people not having that shit. Yes, good on the young people. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, I have hope. I have hope for the next generation and the next. He likes to cut people. He's not the Jesus we always hear about. Jesus was not a very nice person, unfortunately. Jesus that you know in the Bible. Now
He
there's the
wasn't. God
challenge.
wasn't.
God,
God
no,
wasn't a very
God,
nice
God was
person
he
either,
was
was he?
he God was worse. He
Well,
was.
his son's going to be just the same, surely.
Hmm. Now
You
there's the
know, he's a
challenge to
racist, misogynistic, fucking murderous prick. Jesus was no different. He brought the sword to continue his father's work. But did he know who his
you would
father
think
was? His father was a ghost, wasn't he?
you would think that Jesus, when Jesus showed his face on earth, you would think that Jesus would come and say, you know what, slavery in the Bible is abolished. Nobody should own a slave. Nobody. But guess what Jesus decides to do? Jesus then says, was it Jesus who said it, or it was Paul that said, you should obey your earthly masters. Instead of you saying, let's get rid of the entire uh, um, slavery in the Bible. Let's get rid. No. Let's slaves should obey their earthly masters, even the ones that are harsh to them. See? Steve McRae manager, hello and how are you? Be calm, hello and how are you? Let's carry on with this video. We're nearly done.
Your father, your mother will always be your mother and your father. And we love you. Just in case anybody's trying to tell you that we don't, we love you. Might be a little stern sometimes, but we love you. And we want to see the best for you. These people that you're with don't want to see the best for you, David. You need to wake up and realize that people can be evil from time to time. Put your trust in God, not in man.
Put your
Boy,
trust in
you
God. Did you hear that, dog? Her dad just said, put your trust in God. But she
Well,
says it's God. It's God. God is the one saying she should do what she's doing. And dad, obviously, dad is religious too. And dad is saying, put your trust in which God? I don't get it. This
well,
is where
well.
the oh,
If it's a ministry, it's obviously, and the way it's dished out, it's obviously a Christian ministry. I know there's a number of religions in Jamaica. You have your Muslims over there as
mm-mm,
well.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
And you have your Hindus, you have your Rastafarians, of course, which is probably the greatest religion on the planet.
hmm.
They smoke weed and don't give a shit about anything. But they all have heaven and hell. But Christian is predominant in anywhere outside the Muslim nations. Christianity will always be dominant, and Catholic Church obviously is more is more stretched further
Mm-hmm.
around the globe than you find Catholic churches in these Muslim states as well, because they're quite acceptable because they're all about the same God. I mean, Jesus is mentioned a number of times in the Quran, because Muslim is just a spin off from Christianity, and they just there's devout Muslims, and especially in these Muslim states where they're still beheading people for non-believing and being gay and things like that, and they behead them publicly, and that's the norm over there. They're still doing it, but the Christians are. This is what the Christians were doing before Muslim
Yeah.
church even got. This is exactly how the Christians behaved.
Hmm. No,
You know, and
Christianity, they think that somehow they're nice people, but
no,
many.
let's give our children, let's burn our children to death as a sacrifice to
Mm-mm.
God, and throw them to lions and this and that, and throw them to the wolves in the forest. Our children, Christianity was back then is what the Muslim is now. Even the Muslims, they're not as bad as what Christianity has been. It's a terrible religion. It's probably one of the worst
Okay,
religions. But
Mark.
these people, they get into it, and
Hmm.
they get so inane by this. See, where this young lady is, she will regret because she's
Hmm.
gone into it later in life, and she's
Hmm.
been drip fed God in her ear, just slowly drip fed. That is where she's ended up, and that's where she'll realise, fuck, I've wasted so many years doing this.
Hmm.
Whereas children, it's different for them. They'll normally stick with it, and it's not drip; it's in their face. That's the way it is, kids. And there's children who are having cigarettes put out on them around the world now,
Hmm.
and being
Gosh.
beaten, and they don't know any different. They think
Um.
that's what life is.
Hmm.
They don't know. It's a shame, but it's happening now. And I mean, there was one recently here in the UK, that poor little girl who died, and didn't, and her mother and a
Oh
lesbian partner
yes, I
got done
saw
for
that.
murder,
I saw
and
that.
then she was a beautiful little girl, and the mother got done for
Hmm.
manslaughter.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just a shame. She was a beautiful little girl, and the horrific, the
Beheading.
atrocities that were imposed
Oh.
on that poor little girl are just incredibly hard to. But you can't just pinpoint her, because it
Hmm.
happens all over the world to these young and vulnerable children, and that's where religion get their claws in then, and they make you part of the pack forever.
Beach.
And
Beach is saying sorry, Doc. Beach is talking about beheading mannequins. Who's beheading mannequins? Who's be Jesus is and was Jesus is and was and is still a bum. Always will be. Always will be, in my opinion. And see you later,
until he
Mark.
was,
Don't
see
forget
you,
that
Mark.
some people also have mental illnesses that compound this type of situation. I agree. I agree. To be fair, a lot of people with psychological disorders. Some of them are running churches. Some of them are in leadership positions in these
They,
organizations.
yeah, but they go without diagnosis. A lot of these, there's
Exactly.
some ADHD, bipolar, a lot of these illnesses. I know they're not dementia, but they're a form of dementia. They're a form of mental disability where you lack
Oh
in
gosh.
logic and reason, let's say, or,
Mm-hmm.
or, or, or this will stop you relying. I mean, even things like depression can make you lack and make your judgment all fucked up, and make you go for the wrong people. Oh, I'll go for God. I'm so unhappy. Let me go for God, and that's just these are things that we can fix now. A little few tablets done.
Listen, Doug, there's a comment. I just seen this comment. It is funny. Trisha Star says, after 2,000 years, he's still living in his father's house. No job. He has not returned.
Mm.
He's not even trying to learn new technology. Kissing my teeth about his coming back with horses and sword. Kissing my teeth. Foolishness. And then she carries on. She says, where's the other? Where did she? Who was the person? Wait, hang on. Um, uh, yeah, it was AA says, laugh out loud. Jesus is still living in his father's house as a grown man.
Well, this is it. This is it. It's why he can't be asked coming down. He's playing
After 2,000
PlayStation.
years.
He's playing
Ah,
PlayStation. He's I think Netflix has just got a new season of I think
you guys.
what's the
You
name?
guys.
That's all he's doing.
Uh,
And God for it, he won't wash a dish. He's got hard socks under his bed and everything. Won't change his dress.
the angels.
He's
The
just,
angels they'll do everything for him. The angels are there too. He's just sitting on the
well,
right
yeah,
hand of
yeah.
God.
I'm sure he has servants.
He's done his
But
bit.
but he's got on
He's
his bedroom door. Stay out the room, and this means you, Dad. You can't look
he's
in here.
he's done his bit. He's come, died. Well, they say he died, but really and truly, he just went away for a weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, he should
And
have a
then,
weekend off. But
yeah,
don't forget, you've also got this pervertedness in religion as well. That God watches you while you do things in your bedroom.
mm,
When you masturbate and things like that. Any man who says he hasn't masturbated is a fucking liar, as far as I'm concerned. Whether he masturbated as a boy and stopped, I don't know, but he's a fucking liar.
mm.
But yeah, because God will be watching. What sort of fucking pervert is that? This
No, God,
fucking
God needs
COVID
to,
and
God
cancer and
needs to, God needs to watch.
babies getting
God needs
AIDS,
to
and
watch. God
he's
needs to
too
watch the
interested in
acts.
looking in your fucking bedroom. Talk with him.
He needs to see what you're doing. If you're doing it correctly and who you're doing it with, and you're doing it with the correct person, the
Hmm.
right position, the right,
Surely it'd be on
that's
your
the
back,
way.
moving your hand up and down if you're masturbating.
He's a bum, telling people not to give up their hard-earned riches just so no one could enter heaven. Eating honey and dry. I'm allergic, lactose intolerant, so I know already I can't make heaven. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Please do subscribe if you're not subscribed, and like, share, do all that. Please, please. Hello, everyone. Dark Voices ASMR. Hello. Teal, what did Teal say? Teal said, nuclear weapons versus, oh gosh, nuclear weapons versus horses, chariots, and swords. Yep, that's Christianity. That's Christianity for you. All of this is in the Bible, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, no, not unfortunate. It is fortunate because people can read the Bible and see for themselves. They see everything we're talking about. We're not getting this out of our asses. We're not just, making this up. You just open your Bible, it's in there. Dog, let's finish this video. It's nearly done.
Go on.
I just want to tell you, Deniro, that I love you. I know that you know that I love you. What wouldn't I have given for you? I gave you my all. I gave you my all. And I just pray, God, that you will come to your senses quickly before this is too late. Please, Daniel, wise up. I know you're smart. You're an intelligent young lady, you're smart. You always tell me that you're a leader, not a follower. And I am depending on you now to hold on to God and look. What are you doing for your future? What kind of example are you setting for your sister and for the young people around who are looking up to you? Daniel, I'm pleading with you to come to your senses before it's too late.
Okay, so when Daniel when her mom and dad did this video, Daniel got on her phone and decided, oh, I'm going to come out and I'm going to speak because they think I'm missing, and I'm doing the Lord's work. So let's hear what Danielle has to say. So this is Danielle after her mom and dad
About
had
me
just one
and about the
second.
ministry I'm a part of called Following the Blueprint.
So yeah, okay, this is Danielle
Okay,
now.
good morning. My name is Danielle Gray, and recently there have been reports circulating online about me and about the ministry I'm a part of called Following the Blueprint Ministry. Now, before I attempt to speak, I'm going to whisper a word of prayer
No,
to
not
ask the
prayer.
Lord for his wisdom and his guidance as I attempt to speak.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Heavenly Father, as we come before you this morning, I just want to give you thanks.
I don't think I want to hear that prayer.
Even
Yeah,
the
fast
truth,
forward it.
I realized that my prior life had just been
Let's see. I don't want to hear her prayer.
even the truth. I realized that my prior life had just been a lie. I was not a Seventh day Adventist. I just went to church on Saturday. And my life was basically just like that of any other person in the world. No, Jesus says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." No, coming into the present truth has not been an easy journey for me. And I know that for many persons, this process has not been easy. We would like to think that we can get to heaven floating on flowery beds of ease. But Jesus had to suffer. He had to trod the wine press alone. And as his disciples, we are called to suffer in the same breath and in the same manner. Now, I just want to clear something up. I am not missing. I am an adult who has decided to follow out her own convictions of duty and do what it is that God has placed me here on this earth to do. And the Lord has placed the conviction on my heart that is so clear. Sometimes I just break down because I'm wondering, Lord, what love? I am so unworthy
Love.
to be called by your name, yet you have still placed your love upon me. And I'm not about to disappoint.
Dog,
Um,
God
it,
loves her.
it's what she wants to do. If she believes that, then God, Lord, I feel sorry, real sorry for her parents, and I'm just hoping for her sake, this young one's sake, that she
Mm-mm.
realises sooner rather than later that
I
she's
hope
made
so.
this terrible fucking mistake with her life. She was
Mm-mm.
obviously going places. She could have travelled the world, but she's not.
I know. AA said it right. There's still hope. She gets out while the well, I think you're trying to say while the going is good. It's
Yeah,
a shame. It's a shame. And it's things like this that makes me realize that religion can be a horrible thing. As much as they want to paint this really good picture and tell you Christianity, Jesus loves you, he died for you, he gave up him. Listen, when you break it down all the way to the common average person that opens the Bible and reads and translates it how they want, you get people like Daniel. God is
but
speaking to me, and it's the Bible.
you,
Everything it's in the Bible.
you've got to look at it from another side, Esther. Religion might be all some of these people have.
True.
There's people who have nothing. They're living in poverty on the
Hmm.
breadline, starving. Pestilence, disease, and crap like that. And
Hmm.
because it's so vast and worldwide, and it
Mm-hmm.
is slowly drift fed into everyone's ears. Religion
Yes, it
over
is.
over over your lifetime, you'll always hear about God and this. Everyone will know of religion before they're 10 years old anyway, because even in school, it's even taught in primary schools, even even now is assemblies and things like that. They're still teaching about God. Um, these people, might say, I'm bright, but I've got nothing to get me out of this situation. and they may
Mm-hmm.
look somewhere else, and for some redemption, there's got to be something better, and there's people suffering in this world, and we know this.
Mm-mm.
Um, and these people don't help. These people don't help at all.
No, no.
They
Let
say
me
they're
let
helping,
me
but they're not.
let me so Dark Voices ASMR says, doesn't the Bible tell you to honor your father and mother? But the same Bible says that Jesus came to bring division in the home. Mother
Mm.
and father, they're not children, and their mom and dad, they're not going to agree. So the Bible contradicts itself. On the one hand, you're supposed to honor your father and mother. On the other hand, Jesus comes with the sword to divide, to bring a division in the home between mother and children, mother and daughters, father and sons. Isn't it, dog? That's that scripture that
That's
we
that,
read earlier
that's
on.
correct. Yes.
Ugh,
It's not as contradictory as you think, though, although it does say that.
I
Um,
know, and I was just trying to
and,
point that
and, and,
out.
and don't get me wrong either. That there is a lot of churches that do good for people, and they will be there to listen and to help.
At what cost,
Um,
though?
and there is a few, but at what cost is right. Well, you've got your Catholic Church, which if people know me, I fucking hate the Catholic Church with a passion. But they've got your
Hmm.
confession boxes,
Oh gosh.
and what is said in there is said in there. I had a friend who was an ex-Catholic as well. He went through a similar, not as bad as me, but he went through a similar, and he used to go into confession in different Catholic churches around Liverpool and say these horrific things to the priest.
Mm, mm,
Horrific the things he did, but he didn't do them. He just to wind the priest up. You know, uh, he had sex with his mother, and his baby was born, and he killed him with a knife and things like that. He would just say things, just ridiculous, outrageous things to these priests, just to fucking play with their heads. To be fair, and the
mm,
heads need playing with because they've done nothing but play with kids' heads all their lives. Why not kids play with their heads?
mm,
At least he's not phoning out, you know, fake calling fire brigades and things like that. He's actually doing something with his life, and it's his way. I didn't fault him for it because I said at the end of the day, that's your revenge. If you want to
mm-hmm,
go into
mm-hmm,
these professionals and play with their heads, because that's all
mm.
they've done to us. It's just
Yeah,
mess with our heads and well, get beaten when you question why they're playing with your head. But as I say,
look
with
at
me, it became a mission. Then it became it
a
became
driving force
part of
for
my
you.
life. It drove me, to
Yeah,
just
a
question
driving
all the
force.
dogma now.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
didn't think I'd get expelled, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
hmm.
'Cause my parents stopped
So
picking on me as well.
look at this scripture. So right. If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their even your own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. So to be the disciple of Jesus, you've got to hate every single person around you, including yourself. Luke 14:26. See what we're talking. This is the evil right here. You're supposed
Well,
to
yeah,
take up
people
your
say
cross and follow after.
oh, the New Testament was a lot better than it. No, it wasn't. It was just
It
as
wasn't.
atrocious. It was just as atrocious. With the Old Testament, it was just a fictional being doing it. Where here, it was
Gosh.
meant to be the fictional being who actually had sex with his mother, who gave birth to himself, whatever. That's the nonsense of it anyway. Well, that's part of the
Trisha,
Trinity.
Trisha Star, you're so correct. She says she's following in her unruly masters. Jesus did the same. He was always telling his mom that he's not missing. He's doing the work of the one who sent him. Goodness, guys, Christianity. I don't know. Christianity is all about self-loathing and thinking that you are not that you need a God because you are
Exactly.
garbage without God. Yeah, and
Exactly. And they
that's the
make
whole
you feel
idea.
self-loathing as well. They make you loathe
Mm,
yourself as well. And it's also the fear. It's driven by fear. They drive this fear into you as well, especially young children.
can you
And it's
imagine?
sad.
This is taught to
It's
young
abuse.
children.
It's abuse.
That's the word. Abuse, right there. Abuse.
And it can't
You
be
have you.
stopped. It
Goodness.
can't be stopped.
Let's hear what Daniel has to say. The rest, well, it's. I'm not going to play everything, but we all get the idea. Just hear a bit more of what she has to say. She clearly is brainwashed.
Well, she's getting her 15 minutes of fame, isn't she?
Point him for any reason or any consideration at all. When Jesus or when God says to us, go, we are to go because God will not be trifled with. He means what he says, and what he says we ought to do. Not asking how, why, where, when, but just going forward and never ever backward. No, I don't know about you, but if you are a Seventh day Adventist and you're still going into these buildings with the name tag Seventh day Adventist Church, and you see the sign with the three waves and the cross and an open book. But to be honest, when I was there, I can't recall the last time I heard a message as it pertained to the mark of the beast,
Oh
as
gosh,
it
not.
pertains to
Oh
the
no.
fundamentals of Seventh day Adventism. And if you are honest with yourself as a Seventh day Adventist, you'll find that what I'm saying is not a lie. When you are in those buildings, you don't even understand or know why it is that you are a Seventh day Adventist. And that's why being unequally yoked is not something that is
Now that's just some
um,
nonsense right there.
frowned
Just pause
upon,
that a sec.
Let
because
me pause that.
you
Let me
believe
just
that you
one sec.
basically
Let me.
believe the same thing as the Sunday
What
worshiper.
am I doing? You see what's happening here, dog?
See, that's some
You
nonsense right
see?
there. She's saying, "Oh, Seventh Day Adventists are wrong." Well, they're not, are
Yeah,
they? Because
because
this is the
that's
dogma that you have fucking fallen into, but you don't believe it. Why are you against your own fucking religion? And this
no,
is what
that's the religion of her family. That's
the,
but now
the,
she's found this other one that
what
preaches about the
the people
beast
believe
and
that she
oh,
doesn't. Obviously, she doesn't believe the earth was created in 7 days.
oh my
But
goodness.
it's written in the Bible. It is the very Bible that she fucking follows. So why isn't she following the Bible? Why is God or a different person to her? This is the thing about all these religions. They all review this Bible differently. Every one of them. The people who are making money out of it don't interpret it; they manipulate it to help
Gosh.
themselves. That's the way that it works. And this is all this is. No one, she can't say they're wrong and she's right in the same fucking religion. What's that all about? It's just nonsense. And that's the bullshit right there. And this is
It
why,
is. It is.
hopefully, she'll get out quite early. But
I
it's
hope
just the way
so.
people are.
I hope so. This isn't something that it just breaks my heart to hear this, it's something you might want to laugh, you might want to, oh, Christians. Someone said, I've heard someone say, oh, religion makes you no, that really religious people are they suffer from a mental disorder. I would never say such a thing because a lot of people are just misguided. A lot of people are just brainwashed, indoctrinated, and just, if only they will stop and think, if only they will, just ask the questions. Why does my church, we claim to be Christians, why look at her? She's found another ministry that has started preaching a completely different message from where she's coming from. This is the problem right there. Christianity is a mess. Christianity cannot decide whether they agree on you cannot find two denominations that agree on the same thing. So the
Well,
question
that's
then
why they're called
becomes,
denominations.
yeah, the question then becomes which one of them is right? No, none of them can answer.
Nope.
None of them can answer which one of you is preaching the right. Well, everyone would say this is right, wouldn't they, dog?
Well, yeah, they're all reaching the wrong conclusion because this is it. This is it with religion. Because it's been realised that money can be made from it. I mean, people stop believing in Santa Claus, but Santa Claus, he heralds a season, right? So he's what 2 months of the season where people will pay a fucking extortionate amount of money to make their kids happy and make each other happy with presents and gifts and fucking families and turkeys. But that's just a couple of months. Religion can take money all year round,
Hmm.
guilt free. That's why they
Tax
believe in.
tax
That's why
free.
a lot of these people believe in
Tax
God.
free.
Tax
Tax
free
free.
and guilt free. They don't care as long as they get money. Every church roof in the world is fucking leaking, isn't it? Oh, the church roof
Who's
forever. They always
Henry
after money.
Henry
And
hello. Sorry, dog. Henry hello, and Robert X. Hey, how are you?
hey, Robert,
Who is Dog Kuzma? I haven't got a clue who Dog Kuzma is. I haven't got a clue who's Dog Kuzma. You should Google it. He just died. Oh, he just ran. Oh, wait, hang on. So Dog Kuzma, he just died. He ran the Frog Network. What's the Frog Network? Uh, anyways, I will check him out. Let's see.
but
Let's hear a bit more of
he
this
was an
lady, and we'll
anti-vaxxer,
be
wasn't he?
done. Was he?
I thought he was an
Oh
anti-vaxxer,
my.
yeah.
Okay. Let's hear a bit more what
And he was a big
Daniel
God
has to
guy,
say.
Trump supporting guy, and I don't know why he
Oh
died. I think he was
gosh.
a big fat git. He probably died of a heart attack, probably
Wait,
lard
what's this one?
overload or something.
Frog. Fully relied on God. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh gosh. Let's hear what this lady has to say. We'll soon be done with this. Just lie.
Which is not true. God has put his seal upon his worshippers. And that seal is found in the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. We are to be God's peculiar people. But honestly, as we're looking, as the Holy Spirit impresses our minds, we recognize that we are no different from nominal Sunday worshippers, from nominal people who don't understand or have come to the light of the knowledge of truth at this moment. And I want to make it very clear to you that if you have placed your salvation in attending or going into those buildings, you will be lost. Because when Christ left the temple in Jerusalem, as it has been, so shall it be. There is nothing new under the sun. When he left that temple,
Okay. I think
Ichabod,
I
the
think I
glory had
think
departed, and he was
I'm done. I'm done. I cannot carry on listening to
Yes, it's a torn opinion now.
yeah, you can tell that this is just
It's falsehood. Unless she has
yeah.
evidence, it's just false.
So dog, what would you say if there was somebody who find themselves in a place like her? What would your advice be to them?
If she's convinced herself that that's what she wants to do with her life, who am I to try and convince her not to? That's what she wants to do. Sadly, she'll realise herself, and hopefully, she hasn't wasted too much of her life. But as I say,
Still
this type
young.
of brainwashing, it's drip fed slowly through a
Mm-mm,
lifetime.
mm-mm,
Um, and people just get the bug. You don't know what's going on in her life. Her parents could have been beating her. Before you don't know, for all we know, they could be drug addicts that were beating her, and
mm-mm.
she might have wanted. That's why she ran away and whatever, and she gave up her studies. She her school. You don't know what goes on in people's lives. You don't know what goes on in people's heads. Um, but each to their own. Everyone's unique, Esther. We know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. You're
and you
right.
can't you can have fun, questioning their beliefs and whatnot, and they can have, and vice versa. But
Hmm.
let her have it 20 minutes of fame. And the sad thing is, the more you publicise this, the deeper she'll dig her heels in, and she'll just want to do it then, just as after spite, a bit like me getting back at the Catholic Church, or just question the dogma out of spite, out of just hatred for them.
Dog,
After what?
dog, look at this. There are stories that didn't make it into the Bible, like the infancy gospel of Thomas. It talks about a boy bumping into Jesus as a kid. It says Jesus was provoked and said unto him, Thou shalt not finish thy course. And immediately he fell down and died. I know Jesus cursed the fig tree in one of the scriptures. He cursed the tree and said, thou shalt, whatever he said.
Yeah.
But is this true? Is there a scripture, infancy
Well,
gospel of, oh my
yeah, he
goodness.
must have had a wand with him and said Avara Kedavra, Kedavra, whatever Voldemort says.
Oh,
When
Jesus
he
he
fucking
wasn't a nice person,
well,
unfortunately.
Jesus was a horrible bastard. And one other story didn't make the Old Testament was Moses. He was a convicted murderer, wasn't he?
Moses,
Well,
yeah,
he was a
he
convicted
wasn't he?
murderer. I don't think that made it into some of the Bibles, but Moses himself, and he was 900 years old too.
Who, Moses?
Yeah, 900 years old, 900 and something years old. And I think Noah was 785 years. It's just,
Oh, gosh.
but as I say, these people,
Mm-mm.
you stop believing in Father Christmas, you stop believing in the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and all of that nonsense. Why don't you stop believing in this? At least we have images of Father Christmas, of Santa Claus. We have, these images of more like Cole. We've got plenty of photographs of him. You see him standing on it. You don't see anyone dressed as God because no one knows what he looks like. And
Nobody has seen God.
why is
Even
he a white bearded guy? I mean, at the end of the day, lifespans back
exactly.
then. I
Good,
mean,
good question.
Why is Jesus 6'4", white, blonde hair, white
Blue
teeth,
eyes.
blue eyes, Adonis, ripped body? That's
And they
Hollywood
don't know what he
figures.
looked like.
Well, he should have been about possibly around 5 foot tall, which is about the average height. Dark skinned, obviously, bearded. That's what he would have looked like. I
Hmm.
mean, that's probably why he got caught because he was 6'4", white, blue eyes, white teeth, blonde hair, and looked good in a dress and casual sandals. He could be spotted in a crowd.
It's
But this is,
crazy.
he had this Hollywood image of Jesus nailed to a cross with the abs, and then he's wearing the nappy or the diaper, as they call it. He's wearing all of
Mm-hmm.
that. Eh, You know, do you think
Dog?
he wanted to be nailed to you think he wanted to be nailed to a cross? No way.
Of course not. No. Dog, you've had all your vaccines, right?
I've had the two. I haven't had a booster yet.
Right, okay. But
Obviously, I was going through.
you're going to get the booster.
Yeah, I was like getting my jabs because I was going through uh,
Yeah, yeah.
other
I've got
medical
mine.
issues,
I've
obviously.
I've got mine.
Um,
I've got the booster. All said, done. All three done.
well,
Dusted.
I had my first jab and I was ill. I was fucking, yeah, knocked me for sick.
Mm, mm.
Second one just felt like I'd had a dead arm. The booster I would have thought would just be the same. It's in your system now. It would be a lot less. Um, but I still wear a mask, so mask up, people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I still
Yep.
abide by
Yep.
the
Still
rule.
wear a mask.
I still do my tests twice a week. I do my LCR test,
Lateral
lateral
flow
flow
test.
LFT test. I do them. Uh, I do a PCT test once a month,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I publish it all to the government as well. It's
Exactly.
easy
And
to do.
depend on the science. I would rather depend on the science
It's easy to. It's
than
quite
depend
easy.
on these people that have no clue. They read from ancient texts and ancient books. Thou shalt not do this, and thou shalt not steal, and thou. Who cares? Who cares what your ancient book has to say? Ancient books are not relevant anymore. Some things, maybe for history, for finding out about cultures back in the day, but who cares what the books have to say? What the Bible, the Quran, and all. Who cares what these books have to say? Who needs them? They've done enough damage as it is. So no,
Well,
not for us anymore.
that's why I'm rewriting it.
Mm, okay, the gospel according to
Dog.
Doug. Fantastic. I can't wait. I can't wait. I think we get the message. People who say that they hear from God. This lady claims to hear from God. Unfortunately, nobody's seen God. Nobody knows what He looks like. Nobody can say the one person in the Bible who came close to seeing God.
What's with all these Greeks or
God said,
Turkish
God,
people
God,
coming in?
God said, God, I think God said to him, nobody sees God and lives. If you see God, you die. Nobody. So he says, you got to, did he tell him to turn around? And, you know, God came in a ball of fire because you can't even see God. If you dare to see God, you will die. So, what kind of God does not just reveal himself? Let everyone see him. Let everyone know who he is or she is. Might be a she. Because some people say God is a female. Ash. Listen,
It might
I
be
don't know.
neither.
might,
Might be
might be true.
non-binary
There you go. Might be might be a mixture of both.
or gender fluid.
Well,
You don't know. Does God have a gender?
nobody knows. Nobody knows what
And
God looks
nobody,
like.
yeah, of course, and nobody knows what the God
If
is.
there is a thing, that's God.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's just
Anyways,
a ridiculous notion.
I think we're done, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you listening to us. Be careful if you're religious and you're one of these who hears a God speaking. Please be careful. Please be careful because there's no way to test what God or who. There's no way to test that it's a God who's speaking. There really is no way. Any pastor, any preacher that tells you God spoke to them is a liar from the pits of I was going to say the pits of hell, but there's no such place. Any preacher who tells people that God spoke through them, they're just lying. No truth lies in those people. They're just ripping you off, and they're trying to get your money. Please be careful out there. Huh. Let's see. Many books did not make it into the Bible. It would be a great story to cover. Okay, that would be nice. Dark Voices ASMR. I mean, that's something that would interest me. When I came out of Christianity, there's so many things I didn't know as a Christian. How come is when I'm an atheist, now I know so much about Christianity. How does that work? How is that even possible? When I was a Christian, I had no clue. But the moment I stepped away, now I can, properly have a look. And now, oh wow. So the books that didn't make it, so whose idea was it to put this? That's why I think that Christians and religious people sometimes just take a step back and just really ask yourself, why do I believe what I believe? Why have I chosen this one and not the other thousands those are the questions that people need to ask. Trisha Star, thank you. I appreciate you coming. Always a good stream. As I keep doing what you're doing, thank you. I really appreciate uh uh your kind words. I believe that S is an angel. Does that count as belief? Hmm. Angel, right. I don't know about Angel. I don't know. I don't believe in angels. More than 40. What? More than 40 gospels. Did you say 40? What? That many?
There's many. There's a lot of it that wasn't written. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Hell of a lot that wasn't written.
Oh gosh.
They
I
like to
didn't know there were
publish the
that
fear.
many. I didn't know there were that many. Yes, look up the non-canonical writings. It's actually cool. Okay, will do. Oh my. Most Christians haven't read the Bible for themselves. Absolutely. They only what the pastor says on a Sunday. Some people only open the Bibles only on a Sunday. Some people only go to church when it's a wedding, a uh wedding, funeral, or what's the other one? Wedding, funeral, or just
Or
those
mitzvah.
moments in your, yeah. Ah, guys, I think we're done. Doug, thank you.
But I'd like to
It's
leave you with a quote from Dante Alighieri.
Please do.
The darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in times of moral crisis.
Hmm. The darkest place. Let me write that. Wait, let me write that. The darkest place. Say that again.
The
The
darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in times of moral crisis.
reserved, reserved
For those who maintain
for those who
who, main, who maintain their neutrality
mhm, in time
in times of moral crisis.
times of moral crisis. And who's the one who said this? What's his
Dante
name?
Alighieri. Alighieri.
Dante. Dante. How do you spell Alighieri?
Alighieri.
Th
Ieri.
I E
Ri.
I.
He's the guy that wrote Dante's
Alighieri.
Inferno, but that quote always sticks out to me.
Right, there you go. The darkest place. The darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in time of moral crisis.
And that is every religion.
Well said. Well
When there's a
said.
crisis, religion will fucking sit back and watch.
Well said.
And then get involved afterwards. Because they're dirty
Well
bastards.
said. Who wants
That's
to
how I
see any
that's how I
angel?
see that quote anyway.
Hmm. Who wants to see an angel in the Bible? They're said to have angels have many eyes.
I'm actually thinking of testing out my StreamYard skills and doing an after show sort of thing.
Okay, that would be nice.
I want to get some people on.
Please, Esther, can you do a live on the words Bible stories? That's something we can do. The stories that the stories that yeah, that's something we can work on. We can do a live stream on that. Yeah, we can do a live stream showing the stories that don't make sense. After a minute, I had to step away for a minute, but I was asking what happened to the cokehead priest video. Oh, YouTube took it down. The last video, YouTube took it down for hang on, let's see. So YouTube, hang on, let's see. YouTube took the last video down for what was it now? Mm. Oh yeah. Uh no, not that one. There was something that YouTube, what was it now? Oh, YouTube took it down. I think it was something sexual. For some reason they took it down. I think I've deleted it. So unfortunately, sorry, it's gone, completely gone. YouTube took it down. YouTube says we don't want that video on our platform. Where can I find it? I've actually got it. I've got the video. I don't know. Um, I've got the video. I might send it to you if there was a way I could send it to you. If you look, when I'm done in the about section, my links are there. Just send me a message on one of those links and I will send the video to you. Okay? All right, guys. It's really late here. It's past 11. Okay, all right, Doc. That would be good. I'll send you my email in the comment section. Fantastic. I'll look out for it. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. And yeah, we might be back tomorrow or next tomorrow. I make no promises because the weekend tomorrow I want to spend some time with my son, but I will definitely be back on Sunday. If I don't come tomorrow, I'll be back on Sunday. Doug, thank you very much for
Always a
coming.
pleasure, Esther.
It's always a pleasure with you, Doug. Always a pleasure. And have a lovely, lovely weekend. All of you, enjoy your weekend. Spend the time with your family. Use your critical thinking skills. Don't let anyone tell you things that just are absurd and make no sense. And even if they do tell you, just dust it off and just move along. Just say thank you and just carry on moving. Just keep on moving. All right, guys. I'll see you. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you on Sunday. Okay. Bye. Bye bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye. Okay, where are we now? Bye everyone. Uh,